Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me this evening. My name is Nicola Salmon. I'm a fertility coach and also trained as an acupuncturist and as a naturopath. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the 3 key secrets to creating the best space for baby making. In my clinic I've seen lots of women for fertility issues, and these 3 things are the key things that have really made positive shifts in their lives and helped them to get pregnant. The journey into motherhood isn't as always as easy as we'd like. It can be really difficult to manage what you should be eating, what nutrients you should be taking, what exercise you should be doing, managing your stress levels. It's all quite a lot to take on and a lot to think about and a lot to worry about. And it can feel really isolating and really difficult when things don't go to plan, because there's not always someone that you can talk to about it. In our community, it's really difficult to try and talk about these issues because just nobody talks about it, which is a real shame, because getting the support that you need can really make a big difference when you're trying to get pregnant. Today's webinar is going to last about 30 minutes. And if you have any questions as we go along, you should be able to submit a question with the Q&A button. It should be on the right-hand side of your screen. If you can't see it, there should be a little grid at the top right-hand corner, and you can select that, and I'll answer all the questions at the end. So the 3 things we're going to talk about today are listening to your body, looking a little bit at your thoughts and beliefs, and also finding your balance. So it's enough of my face. Let's go into some slides so you can have a little look at what we're going to talk about. So the first secret that I find so useful for women is to learn to listen to your body. Now this can be really tricky for us because we're so used to running around, leading busy lives, that we don't actually ever stop and pay attention to what our bodies are doing. Obviously, the first key thing that you can start to do is to look at your reproductive cycle. The most obvious part of that is your period. So the things that you can look for are how heavy it is, how much pain you're getting, and whether you're getting any other symptoms like grumpiness, moodiness, if you're getting any breast tenderness. All these things can be signs that something might be a bit out of whack, your hormones might not be quite balanced, and also how regular it is. Does it come every 28 days, or is it something that happens once in a blue moon, or is it kind of every 2 weeks? All those things can really give you an indication of what's happening with your body. And if you make a note of them and then kind of make some positive changes in your lifestyle, you should be able to see improvements and changes in your cycle. Now, there's not only the obvious period, but there's a whole month of cycle that you can monitor that should change over time. The easiest thing that you can do to monitor your cycle over the whole month is to look at something called your basal body temperature. Now, this is your temperature at its lowest, and this occurs at the first thing every morning. So before you get out of bed, before you talk, before you get your cup of tea, if you take your temperature with a special electronic thermometer every morning, you'll be able to track what your temperature is doing. And around the midpoint of your cycle, you should see it jump up a little bit. Now, this is because your body starts to release a hormone called progesterone at that point, and this increases your temperature of your body. Now, this will only happen if your body's working beautifully in harmony. And there are so many different hormones that are happening and jumping up and going down, so many different things that can affect it. It can quite easily go out of whack. So by looking at that and by noticing that, you can really do things that you can change and improve it. Now, the other thing that you can do is to monitor your cervix. Now, some women find this a bit icky, a bit like, ooh, why would I want to monitor my cervix? But it can be really useful at helping you figure out when your fertile window is, which when you're trying to get pregnant is so important. Most people think, oh, I'll just do the ovulation sticks. But A, they can be really expensive. And if you've got an irregular cycle, for example, if you suffer from polycystic ovary syndrome, where maybe your cycle can be from 2 weeks to like 70 days, how on earth can you tell when you're going to ovulate? And the really good thing about checking your cervix is that it changes as your body's preparing for ovulation. So not just at ovulation, but while it's getting ready for ovulation, it will begin to soften. And you'll also notice a change in the mucuses that it secretes. Now, this can really give you some key clues about what's going on and when your body's ovulating, so that you know that you're having sex at the right time for the optimum chance of making your baby. Now, it's not only the reproductive cycle that impacts your fertility health, also a whole other range of bodily functions. So your digestive health, your energy levels, your physical general well-being, so how fit you're feeling, the sleep that you're getting, they all impact your fertility health. So it might be an idea to try and listen to your body about the kind of food you're eating, what exercise suits you, and how these impact your energy levels and also your mood. Food can play a big part in reproduction. If you're not absorbing your nutrients from your food, or you're not eating the right nutrients to begin with, your body won't have enough energy and enough resources to grow a baby and to make a baby, so it just won't even attain the idea. So you really want to be paying attention to any digestive symptoms that you're getting, such as bloating, IBS, indigestion, acid reflux. All those kinds of things can give you indication that there might be something a little bit out of whack with your digestive system. I remember about 3 or 4 years ago, I was having really awful cramps in the morning. So they were like really bad stomach cramps. They weren't related to my period. They were just happening in the morning. So every time we got on the train to commute into work, I was just getting these really painful stomach cramps. And I had no idea what it was. I kind of thought, well, I'll change my food in the morning. So I tried eating different things for breakfast, not having breakfast, drinking lots of water, and nothing seemed to make a difference. And it wasn't until I went to a nutritionist and she asked me what I was eating the night before, and it actually clicked. So what I was doing was coming home from work, having tea, and then sitting in front of the TV and having like sweet foods, so sweets, sugar, all that kind of stuff. And what was happening was I was having a like sugar hangover the next day. So my body was just kind of overwhelmed with all this sugar, and then it was processing it the next morning, giving me these awful cramps. So anything where you think something's not quite right here, you can really listen to your body, pay attention to the foods you're eating, and notice if there's any correlation. Exercise can also have a massive impact on you. If you're working too hard, if you're doing too much exercise, it can put massive strain on your body. But also if you're not doing enough exercise, you can feel really slow, really sluggish, and it can really affect your mood. So it's really important to monitor exactly what's going on in your body, because it's trying to give you signals, it's trying to give you information about things you should change, things you could improve, things you should leave out of your diet. And if you don't listen to it, it's just going to make things worse. So if you can listen to your body, see what's happening, notice how you're feeling, then it can have a massive impact, because everybody's different. You can't prescribe the perfect fertility diet for people, because everybody's bodies react different ways to foods, depending on what you've eaten for your whole life, your culture, your background, even kind of where your grandparents and your parents grew up and what they were fed. It all impacts your body, and it all is such a complicated system that there's no way that you could ever begin to prescribe the perfect diet for someone. So really listening to your body is the best indicator of what you should be eating, how you should be exercising, and looking to your external environment as well. So looking at your energy is really important. Noticing when your slumps are, if you have energy slumps. For example, they could just be after lunch when you've eaten a whole load of, big sandwich and crisps and all that carbohydrate, and then all of a sudden you notice, oh my God, I'm so tired. Or it could be after your morning coffee, big caffeine rush, and then you kind of have a slump and you need another coffee to get you back up again. So it's really just noticing what those foods do to your body, and if you want that effect, or if you actually prefer not to have that slump of energy. And also how it impacts your mood. So after you've had sugar, do you feel great, but then half an hour later you just feel really meh. And it's also not just the food directly that impacts your mood, it's, do you get that guilty feeling afterwards of, maybe I shouldn't have eaten that, or I don't know whether that was a good idea. making positive choices, feeling empowered around food, feeling empowered around what you're choosing, why you're choosing it, and feeling good about that decision is such an important part of it too. And the last little thing about listening to your body is actually really looking at everything else around you, looking at your environment. Are there people around you that, really aren't that good for you? Are they, bringing you down, saying negative things to you? Do you have any of those kind of relationships where people suck the energy out of you and you spend time with them and afterwards you just feel like, oh my God, I'm so glad that's over. Having those kind of people around you causing those negative emotions isn't going to be helpful. So you really want to declutter anything that's not serving you right now, anything that doesn't make you feel good about yourself, you don't want in your life. So that's listening to your body. It's such a big part of what I do and what I teach my clients to do, because it's so important, and it gives me as a coach so much information about what's going on in your body, whether things that we're doing are good, whether they're not so good, and having that feedback mechanism is so important. So the next secret we're going to go on to is your thoughts and beliefs. Now this is an interesting one because people often don't really think about what they're thinking about, and it can have a huge impact on what your mood is throughout the day, how stressed you're feeling. And as we all know, stress can have a huge impact on fertility. Everybody's always saying, oh, just relax and it'll happen and you'll be fine. But realistically, it's so hard to relax when everybody's saying relax, relax, relax. It's like, well, stop telling me to relax and maybe I can relax. So, those thoughts that you're having day in, day out really add up and can have a big impact on, the way that you feel about getting pregnant, the way that you react in situations, and really the environment that you're creating in your body. If you're in a stress situation, your body's going to know that that's not the right time to bring a baby into the world. So by truly and really being able to relax and giving your body that time to breathe, you're actually creating a beautiful environment to bring your baby into. So obviously that's what we all want. We all want to be calm and at peace and zen-like, but the world isn't like that. We don't all live in the middle of nowhere and just spend our days collecting berries and chopping wood. We're always in these situations, whether it's the commute to work and people are dragging you in and closing around you, or whether it's, you don't like your job, so you feel really frustrated and angry, or it could just be, financial stresses. If you're going through IVF or any kind of assistive reconception, assistive reproduction, it can be really expensive, and having to worry about those things alongside having all those hormones and going through the process is not easy. So if you can have a positive impact on your thoughts and also the beliefs you have surrounding getting pregnant, it can really make a huge difference. So your thoughts and emotions are linked really strongly. So what you're thinking will affect how you're feeling, and what you're feeling will affect how you're thinking. So by having positive thoughts and positive beliefs, you can create positive moods. And if you're feeling good, it's always so much easier to get through the day at work, or just spend time with people. So knowing that they really interlink closely can be really important. But it's also really important to be aware of the thoughts that you're having on replay. So normally most people have thoughts that they think all the time. It's not a case of you have 6 billion thoughts running through your head every day. They're normally the same ones over and over and over and over and over again. So it could be what you're having for dinner, what things you've got to do when you get to work. Oh, I'm so frustrated about this. Thinking about the past is a big one. Oh, what should I have done in that situation? Should I have done that? Should I have done that? Or should have done that? Or thinking about the future. Oh, this isn't going to happen. Worrying about this, worrying about that. And those thoughts can go round and round and round and round and round, and they're not productive because they're not giving you anything. They're just the same thoughts over and over again. So it's really important to actually take a minute and just think about, hang on, what are those thoughts that I'm actually having? Because sometimes you don't even know. They can be subconsciously running around and round and round and round. And when you sit down and actually put pen to paper and think about it, you're like, whoa, actually, these are all quite negative, and that's not really what I want to be thinking about. So making that conscious decision about what you're thinking about can have an impact. And also the beliefs. What do you believe about getting pregnant? Do you believe that it's easy to get pregnant? Do you believe that it's going to be really difficult for you? If somebody's told you that you've got like blocked fallopian tubes, you're going to think that it's going to be impossible for you to get pregnant because they've told you that, and you know, who are you to go against what the doctor said? So by having that belief, that certainty in your head that you're never going to get pregnant, then that's what's going to happen. So by really being aware of what your beliefs are surrounding getting pregnant, you can really begin to dig deeper into, you know, whether these beliefs are serving you and whether actually, you know, maybe I can get pregnant. You know, if you can even entertain that thought of actually it might not be that bad, there may be a way, there's going to be something that we can do, then that will have a really positive impact. And what are other people telling you? Your doctor, your spouse, your family? You know, are their beliefs and their thoughts impacting on what you think? So is your doctor constantly saying, oh, well, it's going to be really difficult unless you lose a lot of weight to get pregnant? Because if they're saying that, then chances are you're going to believe them. And, you know, what about if you're, for example, say your mum had early menopause, then she's kind of, you know, telling you, oh, well, you better get started soon. You know, you better start trying for a family because I had early menopause and that might happen to you. So all these ideas and all these beliefs that people have around you can also play a huge impact on feeding into your own thoughts and beliefs. So just being aware, just taking that into consideration is going to help you massively get over these hurdles and just stop them having any kind of impact and any kind of negative role in your fertility. So now we're going to move on to the final secret. So this one is really keeping it all together. So it kind of goes back to looking at our first one, which is listen to your body, but it's about really, when you've listened to your body, actually paying attention and finding what works for you. So you're unique, your body is unique, your history is unique, your parents are unique. Everything that's fed into who you are is different and special, and there is no prescription, you know, no one size fits all for the quick fix to getting pregnant. You've got to really pay attention to what's going on for you and find your balance. So find your balance physically, finding what foods work well for you, what really nourishes you, both in your body and in your soul. You know, you don't have to cut out all the chocolate cake and all the sweets if they really nourish you on an emotional level. It's okay to have them. You don't need to beat yourself up about that. It's about finding that balance, both physically and emotionally. So with diet, like I said, but also with exercise. So you don't have to be a marathon runner to be fit and well and healthy. In fact, now is not really the good time to start marathon training if you're trying for a baby. What you really want to do is find an exercise that you enjoy, that you love doing, and that you really want to continue doing and really get benefit from. So you don't want to be heading to the gym if you feel like you have to, and that's what everybody says you've got to do. You've got to be fit, you've got to go 3 times a week, do this exercise, and then you'll be okay. No, find something that really lights you up. Find something that you love going to, whether that's going to a dance class, whether that's going swimming, whether that's taking a bike ride in the park, whatever it is that you love to do, do that. And, you know, just get your heart rate up. Don't burn out so that you'll feel so crazy, you know, crazy hot, crazy tired, that you feel like your muscles are burning. You don't need to go that far, because that, again, is just going to put stress on your body, and that is what we want to avoid. So really just find your balance for you. Don't compare with other people. They are different. They've been through different experiences. They've got different journeys ahead of them. You need to focus on you right now. That's so important. So don't compare what you're doing with other people. It's nice to talk about it with others and share, but you don't need to make that comparison and feel guilty about what you're doing and what you're not doing. You just have to work out what will work for you. And if you feel good about it, that's great. That's perfect. That's all you need to do. So I hope you've enjoyed these and I hope you found them really useful. I mean, they're quite broad concepts, but they're key to so many issues that I see in my fertility clinic, is just finding that balance and letting go of everything else that you've heard, you know, about, well, there's this super supplement that's going to really get me pregnant, and then I've got to do this specific yoga move because this is going to bring blood to the uterus. It's all great stuff, and it might work for you, but it might not. So you've really got to pay attention to what's going on for you in your body. So this is, you know, finding the best way for you, which is why I created my program, which is called Empowered Fertility. So it's really, my key idea and my key concept for this was about giving you the tools to make a real impact on your fertility. So giving you my knowledge, my experience, my expertise, and giving you the power to choose what you do, to find out what works for you, and then run with it. Only you can make the changes that you need to do in your life. You know, I can sit here and give you a whole prescription of food you should eat and supplements you should take, but unless you're really ready to take those changes and really feel good about doing those things, you're going to listen. You might try it for a few weeks, but then you're going to get bored. You think, well, this isn't really working. I'll try something different. It's really about letting you take back responsibility for your own health, because it can really feel like you're disempowered when you're told by your doctor, oh, well, there's nothing we can do right now. Try again for another 6 months, and if you're still having problems, just come back and we'll see what we can do. It feels like there's nothing that you can do then. You feel like, well, all I can do is keep having sex. That's not the case. There are so many things that you can do, but it's about finding what works for you. So my program is a 12-week program, which is a really great length of time to be able to make some positive changes, and then to be able to see those changes and how they impact on your cycle, how they impact on your sleep, your health, your energy levels. All these things will have really big shifts. And it also gives you the opportunity to be supported, which is, it's just not there in our current health system. You know, you don't see your doctor regularly enough for them to know who you are. If you're going to an IVF clinic, you don't see them very frequently. So having that regular support, having that one-to-one coaching, having someone who knows your history, who knows the journey that you're going through and can really help you with that, is so empowering, and people find it so useful. But also, we have a private Facebook group, which is secret, so nobody can see that you're there, nobody can see what you post, but it means that you get to spend time with other women, see what they're doing, see what questions they have, and share your journey, which is amazing, because it's so difficult to share this journey with your friends sometimes, with your family. It can feel like such a private and insular thing. So being able to feel like you're supported can really just make things a lot easier. So the tools that I've got can make a real impact on your fertility. It isn't about me waving my magic wand and making you all better. It's about you taking those tools and making the positive changes that are right for you. Now, as a thank you for joining me on this webinar today, I'm going to give you a special discount on the course. Normally it's £497, but for you guys, I'm going to give you £100 off, so that's £397, which is an absolute bargain, because you're getting 12 weeks of this fantastic material, unlimited support on the Facebook group and via email, plus you're getting 3 coaching sessions with me, which really just helps you to feel like you're supported on that journey. You know, I'm here to listen to you, give you any advice that you need, and it just works so well for people. So you can use this special price up until Friday, and the course starts on Monday, so less than a week to go, which would be really great, because now that you're feeling motivated, it really makes a difference to just get started and just jump in. If you're interested in the course, I'm happy to have a chat about it. I can send you a link after the replay's up for you, and you can book in for a 30-minute chat via Skype or on the phone, and that way we can get into a little more detail about your journey and if it'll be helpful for you to go on this course. So I hope that answers all your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to shoot me an email. My email address is nicola@hedgehoghealing.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to chatting to you soon.